and still had 505 receiving yards and 7 receiving touchdowns. I know, most of his good numbers came when he, when he was balling when Cooper Kupp and they had Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua injured, but at the same time, he had some really good games when those guys were on the field. Like, for instance, the game in November, on November 3rd, when they beat Seattle in overtime, 26-20. Both Cooper Kupp, at that point, both Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua were back on the field. I don't think Puka Nacua played much in this game, this overtime win that they had, but he had an amazing game. He had 6 receptions, 94 receiving yards, and 2 receiving touchdowns, even though those two guys are back on the field, and had a game-winning touchdown catch for the Rams. And you want to keep going with it when those two guys are on the field, like down the stretch at the end of the season. Seattle, last game of the season. Yeah, there was no Puka, no Cooper Kupp since that was the last game of the season, but 72 receiving yards, 3 catches. Want to go to the divisional playoff round? Both Puka and Cooper Kupp were on the field for the Rams. He had 3 receptions for 74 receiving yards. Even games like the game against the New Orleans Saints. The Rams didn't even throw 200 passing yards in that game, and you got both Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp on the field. And, he gets 49 receiving yards on 2 catches. So he had some big games even when both Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua were on the field and made some big catches. And one of the reasons I'd love to see his addition to this Houston Texans team is because I feel like, just me personally, I think one thing that was missed in C.J. Stroud's second season that he had in his first season of his career was the deep threat of Noah Brown. I think all of us Texans fans could say C.J. Stroud was a way more dangerous quarterback when he had a wide receiver threat like Noah Brown. Those guys had some amazing chemistry. And if we really do look at it last season, C.J. Stroud probably played his 2 best games in his rookie season when Noah Brown was on the football field. And you know what, to be completely honest, maybe Noah Brown just has this effect on rookie quarterbacks because he did it with C.J. Stroud last year. He was a huge part of Jaden Daniels' rookie season, made the catch on the Hail Mary win. I mean, if it wasn't for Noah Brown, we wouldn't see rookie seasons like C.J. Stroud and Jaden Daniels. That's for real. Because Noah Brown had a huge season in Houston last year. He had a huge season in Washington this season. But I thought that was a huge threat for C.J. that he had. He was a guy that, him and Noah had a lot of connection on deep ball passes that C.J. loved to connect with him on those. They had some against Tampa, had some against Cincinnati. I mean, sure, there were other games where those guys connected, but those were some of the biggest wins the Texans had last year. Not this previous season, but CJ's rookie year, those were 2 of the biggest wins the Texans had all season. And Noah Brown had an input on the Texans team when healthy. And look, I'm not saying he didn't have talent at wide receiver position this year. Sure, you can connect on Tank with a deep ball, but he's not even healthy. And sure, you can connect with Nico on a deep ball. They did it against Buffalo. They've done it many times before. But I just feel like this year there aren't, outside of Nico, going into this year, outside of Nico, and especially last year, he didn't have that guy like Noah Brown last season. I thought that really hurt him. And you can replace what he had in Noah Brown in his rookie season with Demarcus Robinson, who's a great replacement. He's a guy who's great at running deep routes, and I think him and C.J. Stroud would have a lot of chemistry. And it's not just the fact that I think him and C.J. Stroud have a lot of chemistry, but also the fact that you got you got your offensive coordinator, has worked with this wide receiver before. Your offensive coordinator was in Los Angeles with him before, and that's why I think you're going to see Rams players get targeted by Houston. That's why I think Demarcus Robinson and Tutu Atwell will be targeted by the Texans. Potentially Cooper Kupp will be targeted to the Houston Texans. I'm not saying all those guys end up in Houston, but I think there's a legitimate chance the Houston Texans fill that wide receiver 3 position with either Tutu Atwell or Demarcus Robinson, and then could potentially fill the wide receiver 2 position with Cooper Kupp. I seriously doubt it. I think the wide receiver 2 position for the Houston Texans is either going to be Deebo Samuel or Stephon Diggs potentially. But then at the wide receiver 3 position, I'd love to see the Houston Texans go after Tutu or Demarcus Robinson. But like I say, I prefer Demarcus Robinson because I think he brings he brings a different side of he would bring a different side of CJ Stroud that we haven't seen. We didn't see a lot of last year like we did in his rookie season, where he's able to throw the ball deep downfield more like he was able to do when he had Noah Brown in his first season. And I think he has another threat to do that with if he adds in if they add in Demarcus Robinson. Let me know your thoughts on the potential signing for the Texans in the comment section, and peace out. Go Texans.